2 years ago, my cat disappeared without a trace. I searched every street, knocked on countless doors, put up missing posters, and refused to give up. But as the weeks turned into months, everyone started telling me the same thing. She's not coming back. Maybe they were, but something deep inside me refused to believe it. Then, exactly 2 years later, I saw something that stopped me in my tracks. What happened next still feels impossible to believe. Her name was Luna. She wasn't just my cat, she was family. I adopted her when she was only 8 weeks old. Out of all the kittens at the shelter, she was the only one who didn't run toward me. Instead, she quietly walked over, looked up at me, and gently rubbed her tiny head against my hand. In that moment, I realized I wasn't choosing her. She had already chosen me. From that day on, we were inseparable. Every morning, she'd wait outside my bedroom door. Every evening, she'd sit by the front window. Waiting for me to come home became our little routine. A routine I thought would last forever. It happened on an ordinary Saturday afternoon. Nothing felt unusual. I had just come home from the grocery store. I carried a few bags inside, then walked back to my car to grab the last one. It was such a normal moment that I never imagined it would change everything. When I walked back inside, I called her name. Luna? No answer. At first, I wasn't worried. Luna loved hiding, under the couch, or inside an empty box. I searched every room. Nothing. I called again. Luna, silence. That's when my heart started racing. I ran outside, looking up and down the street for her, hoping I'd see her, but she was nowhere. In that moment, I realized Luna was gone. I refused to give up. I searched every place. A frightened indoor cat would hide under parked cars, behind garbage bins, between fences. I called her name. Again and again. Luna, but nothing. As the sun went down, a few neighbors noticed me searching. After I showed them Luna's picture, they joined the search. We searched the entire neighborhood, but it was as if she had vanished. That night, I barely slept. Every little sound outside made me run to the front door, hoping she'd finally come home, but she never did. The next morning, I made a promise to myself. I wasn't going to stop looking. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but there was still no sign of Luna. Every morning, I'd look outside, hoping she'd somehow find her way home. Every evening, I'd walk through the neighborhood, calling her name. I visited local shelters, spoke to veterinarians, and checked every lost pet post I could find. But every lead ended the same way. Nothing. Slowly, the missing posters started fading. Neighbors stopped asking if I'd found her. Even my friends began saying, maybe it's time to let go. But I couldn't, because deep down, I still believed Luna was out there somewhere. Then, one evening, my phone rang. An unknown number. I answered immediately. The woman on the other end said, I think I've seen your cat. That's all I needed to hear. I grabbed my keys, jumped into my car, and drove there as fast as I could. The entire way, I kept imagining what it would feel like to hold Luna again. But when I arrived, my heart sank. I stood there, looking at a cat that looked enough like Luna to fool me from a distance. I knew instantly she wasn't Luna. As I drove home, for the first time, I wondered if I'd ever see Luna again. After that, the phone never rang again. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The missing posters slowly faded. Most people stopped asking about Luna. Some even believed she was gone forever. But I could never bring myself to throw away her favorite toy or her food bowl. Somehow, I still believed that one day she'd find her way home. 2 years later, I never forgot Luna. Every time I saw a cat that looked like her, I'd stop, hoping, just for a second, that it might be Luna. Then, one ordinary afternoon, on my way home, something caught my eye. Near a row of garbage bins, a skinny brown cat was quietly searching for food. I almost kept walking, but something about her felt strangely familiar. She looked up, and our eyes met. I couldn't move. Was it really Luna? I stood there, completely frozen. Part of me wanted to run to her, but another part was terrified she'd run away. So I took one slow step, then another. My heart was beating so hard, I could hear it. I looked at her and quietly whispered, Luna. She stopped. Slowly, she turned her head and looked straight at me. For a few seconds, neither of us moved. It felt like the whole world had gone silent. Then she took one step toward me, then another. I slowly reached out my hand, barely breathing, and then she gently rubbed her head against my fingers. In that moment, I knew it was Luna. After 2 long years, she still remembered me. I couldn't hold back the tears. I wrapped my arms around her, and in that moment, 2 years of searching, hoping, and refusing to give up, finally felt worth it. Looking back, I realized something. Sometimes, hope is the only reason we keep going, and sometimes that's all we need. Welcome home, Luna.